Hello and welcome to the Nasdaq market site in Times Square. I'm Jane King, and with me today, Tom Lavoy, the CEO and Chairman of the Board of IsoRay. So welcome, Tom.
Well, thank you.
So IsoRay has some very interesting cancer treatments. Tell me about those.
Well, IsoRay produces a radioisotope called cesium-131. And cesium-131, it's like the third generation radioisotope that's been developed probably over the last 40 years. And the unique part of cesium-131 is it has a 9.7-day half-life. Okay. The other isotopes that have been developed for low dose rate treatment have been either a 60-day half-life or a 20-day half-life. So what's unique about our isotope is that it brings a very fast radiation dose to the treatment cancer tumor.
Okay.
And so it basically in 33 days will get 90% of its radiation dose applied to exactly where you need it.
Okay, and that is appealing to a cancer patient. Why?
Well, basically it's internal radiation versus external radiation.
Okay.
So external radiation, when it's being utilized, it shoots a wide array of X-ray through the body. And so in brain and head and neck cancers and GYN cancers and prostate cancers, what you do is you get a very regulated dose exactly where you need it. So you don't have additional collateral damage of healthy tissues.
Okay, and where do these stand in terms of FDA or the regulatory organizations that need to approve this for use?
The prostate cancer business has used radioactive seeds for well over 30 years, so we're fully approved for FDA for prostate cancer.
Okay.
The other outpatient type activities, like GYN cancers, were also approved, which we've done a lot of work at the University of Kentucky with a group down there. Surgical applications for brain and head and neck and other where there's a surgery involved and you try to place the seed immediately, upon surgery, those still have to be gain reimbursement.
Okay, and where does this stand in terms of insurance reimbursement? Is this something insurance would cover?
Well, right now, the brain cancer treatment that we're currently working on, we actually have a product that we're working a collaborative development agreement with a company called Gamatile, which is a group of doctors that work at the Barrow Neurological Institute in Phoenix. They've actually developed a collagen product that we submitted to CMS, Medicare, for reimbursement. So they've now done 4 to 5 years of clinical activity. Local control is very good, and it looks like a device that we want to get approved, one, through FDA. So we made an application last year at the FDA to get a 510(k) clearance on the product, and then also filed a application for what they call an NTAP, New Technology Add-on Payment, with CMS. Typically insurance, once CMS and Medicare is approved, a lot of other insurance companies follow their lead. Okay, so we're in a pretty good position if those FDA and also the Medicare's approved this year.
Yeah.
So
now, you mentioned that it's more patient friendly in terms of can be used during the point of surgery. And how explain that a little bit more? Like, why would a patient benefit from this?
Okay, I'll use brain as a good example. Okay. So typically, right now, we've been using it in a reoccurrent patient application. So brain cancer, many times they go in, surgically remove the tumor, and then they have to wait about 2 to 3 weeks before they can start a radiation treatment. And so that radiation treatment typically will be 6 to 8 weeks of radiation that'll be applied, so that patient has to wait 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes that cancer starts reoccurring before they start radiation, and then they have to go to a facility for 6 to 8 weeks to get that treatment. With cesium-131, the treatment happens right at the time of surgery. So that surgeon has the ability to basically see where that tumor is and then place that cesium right where they want it and need it, right on the margins. Okay. And then they basically finish the procedure and it's a one-time process and it's done.
I
So
see.
I mean, it's a much better procedure
No, I can
for.
definitely see how that would be
Yeah.
the case. Does it have the same side effects that we see with other radiation?
Well, it actually has a lot less side effects.
Interesting.
Just
Okay.
because that radiation dose gets put within 5 millimeters of that tumor bed, so it does. Typically, external radiation will have up to 25% of brain necrosis or damage of healthy brain tissue, where the results currently at the Weill Cornell and also at the Barrows are showing less than 5% radiation necrosis of the product.
Okay, and then tell me about the business a little bit, the company leadership, and just how the financials are.
Okay. Well, IsoRay has been a public company for the last 15 years. It's ISR is our ticker symbol. We're a small company at this point. We've been working on prostate applications for 10 plus years, and now recently the last 4 or 5 years have really worked on these other applications for brain and more aggressive cancers. And cesium-131 really allows us to get to these other aggressive cancers. The other low dose rate isotopes with their longer half-life really could not get into these new applications just because they didn't have enough radiation dose being applied quick enough. So this allows us to get to a high rate of radiation in a very short period of time. And so, it's been a startup company, but I think in the last 10 years have now made some really good strides clinically, both in prostate with our quality of life improvement, where, in prostate typically with the radiation doses that last a lot longer, there's a 12 to 18 month side effect profile. When you apply the radiation much quicker, it's a much shorter period, so
Okay.
3 to 6 months. Leadership of the company, I'm the CEO and chairman of the board. We recently added Michael Kratchen, who is our VP of sales. He came from C.R. Bard, had 20 years of experience in brachytherapy. That's the application of seeds in a close environment. And Bill Kavanaugh is our Chief Operating Officer and Chief Science Officer.
Okay.
And approximately 40 people in the company, still a very small company.
Okay, thank you so much, Tom, for coming and sharing, and best of luck to you. I know cancer patients really appreciate anything that would make their treatments easier. So thank you, Tom Lavoy, the chairman of the board and CEO of IsoRay, and thank you as well for joining us. I'm Jane King at the Nasdaq Market Site. Have a great day.